You're embarrassing, Harper. Madison doesn't want you around her sponsors. Her followers expect a certain ... level. That's what my brother Colton said when I asked why I wasn't invited to his 4th of July party. I'm Harper Reed, 34, and I run a PR agency in Chicago that pulls in $4.2 million annually. But 6 years ago, I was just the family embarrassment in thrift store clothes, making $42,000 as a marketing assistant. That July 4th weekend in 2019, I watched Instagram stories from my parents' Naperville backyard. Red, white, and blue, everything. Catered food, craft cocktails. My entire family laughing, posing for photos. I wasn't in a single frame. When I called Colton, his wife Madison grabbed the phone. Harper, you don't fit the aesthetic. This is a curated event. My brand partners are here. I can't have you showing up in your Goodwill specials. In the background, my mother Diane agreed. She's right, honey. You know how you are, different. My father Robert added, don't make this dramatic. My sister Sloane laughed. You'd be miserable anyway. I sat in my $890 studio apartment staring at my phone. I didn't cry. I opened my laptop instead. Hello, beloved listeners. Thank you for joining me today. If you enjoy stories like this, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell. I'm always curious to know which corners of the world you're tuning in from. Let me know your city in the comments. Enjoy the story. What I did next took 6 years, but it destroyed them completely. Growing up in Naperville, I was always the odd one in the Reed family. My parents owned Reed Luxury Motors, a high-end car dealership. They lived for status symbols. Our house was 4,200 square feet, with a circular driveway. Appearances mattered more than anything. My sister Sloane, 3 years older, was perfect. Finance major at Northwestern, 6-figure job at 25. My brother Colton, 4 years younger, was the golden child. Star athlete, business major, groomed to take over the dealership. Then there was me. Vintage clothes, volunteering at community gardens, studying marketing at a state school. When I told Dad my major, he said, marketing? That's not a real career, Harper. I graduated with $28,000 in loans and got a job making $38,000. Moved into a Logan Square studio for $850 monthly. Family dinners became comparison sessions. Sloane talked about deals and bonuses. Colton bragged about sales. Dad would beam. Then they'd turn to me. How's your little marketing job? Mom would ask, pitying. I'd mention campaigns with 40% engagement increases. Dad would nod, already checking his phone. Everything changed when Colton started dating Madison Piers in 2017. She had 80,000 Instagram followers posting lifestyle content. She treated me like a stain the first time we met. I wore business casual from work. She wore a bodycon dress and photographed her plate before eating. You do charity work. That's sweet. I stick to paid partnerships, she said, wrinkling her nose. Mum nodded. Madison's so business savvy. You could learn from her, Harper. Their wedding in 2018 cost $65,000, partially funded by Dad. I was a bridesmaid in a $220 dress. Madison posted 47 times that weekend. I appeared in 2 photos, cropped at the edges. Caption, surrounded by my real family now. Family events became Madison Productions. Every holiday had themes and hashtags. My parents loved it. Easter 2019. Madison cornered me in the kitchen. Your social media presence is really off-brand for the family. When you post with us in those clothes, it affects my engagement. Could you try harder? Or just not post with us? You're asking me to change how I dress for your Instagram, she sighed. We're building a lifestyle brand. The Reed family image matters. Your alternative vibe doesn't fit. 2 months later, July 4th arrived. Madison had planned her red, white, and bougie party for weeks, lining up brand sponsors. Friday morning, I texted Colton asking what time to arrive. He called 3 hours later. Madison and I talked. It's better if you sit this one out. You're embarrassing, Harper. Madison doesn't want you around her sponsors. You don't fit. Madison grabbed the phone. This isn't personal, it's business. My brand partners are investing in this event. I can't have you there in your thrift store outfits. You'd ruin the vibe. I'm his sister. This is a family party. It's my party, she snapped. They agree with me. You're different, Harper. Maybe next year if you get your act together. The line went dead. I sat on my Murphy bed, $1,847 in my checking account, $28,000 in student loans. My family had just uninvited me because I was an embarrassment to a fake influencer. I didn't cry. I made a list. That Saturday, I watched the Instagram stories. About 40 people in designer outfits, custom linens, color-coordinated cocktails. My parents looked thrilled. Madison posted 23 times. One caption read, "So blessed to be part of this amazing crew. Blood doesn't make family, love and loyalty do." I screenshot everything and started planning. Monday, I gave notice at my job. My boss, Gloria, looked shocked. "Where are you going?" "I'm building something of my own." She studied me. "This is about more than career, isn't it?" She approved a 6-month sabbatical instead of resignation. That week, I sold my car for $3,200, worked 3 jobs, sports bar, brunch place, freelance social media, ate ramen and peanut butter, grocery budget, $120 monthly. Cancelled everything, walked everywhere. In 9 months, I saved $11,000, slept 4 hours nightly, lost 18 pounds. Didn't care. My family called twice in those months. Once for Colton's housewarming, once for Christmas. I declined both. Dad said, "You're holding a grudge over one party. Grow up." I hung up, blocked their numbers, changed mine, unfollowed everyone. In March 2020, I enrolled in a 12-week PR and brand strategy course for $8,500. Studied before breakfast shifts, stayed late practicing presentations. The instructor, Patricia Chan, asked why I was there. Told her everything. She listened, then nodded. "Good. Anger is fuel. But you don't build an empire to prove people wrong. You build it because you're the only one who can. Revenge is just a bonus." I met Tessa Wu in that course, a 29-year-old graphic designer. We partnered on every project. After graduation, we launched Reed and Wu Communications in May 2020. No office, just laptops in coffee shops. I kept one waitressing shift weekly. Our first client paid $800 for a 3-month social media strategy. Her sales tripled in 6 weeks. She referred 3 more clients. By August, we had 7 clients paying $500, $1,200 monthly. Revenue, $6,400 per month. September brought the breakthrough. A sustainable packaging startup needed PR for under $10,000. Big agencies wanted $50,000 minimum. We pitched a scrappy influencer campaign targeting 40 micro-influencers with 5,000 to 25,000 followers. Budget, $8,000. One post went viral, hitting 2.3 million views. Chicago Tribune featured the client, mentioning us as their PR team. Inquiries flooded in. By December, 14 clients, $31,000 monthly revenue. We hired our first employee, rented a small office for $1,200 monthly. I quit waitressing. Paid off my $28,000 in student loans completely in January 2021. My family had no idea. I used Reed professionally, kept personal social media private. 2021 accelerated everything. 22 clients by June, 4 more employees, larger office. Revenue $680,000 by year end. I paid myself $85,000, reinvested the rest, started speaking at marketing panels. A trade publication featured us as an agency to watch. In early 2022, we won a $72,000 contract with a tech startup that had raised $8 million. That funded our expansion. We hired specialists in media relations and data analysis. By mid-2022, 12 employees, revenue tracking toward $1.8 million. I moved to a 1-bedroom for $1,650 monthly, bought real furniture, got regular haircuts, small luxuries that felt like monuments. The tech startups launched in September generated 47 media placements, including TechCrunch and Wired. Forbes noticed and profiled me for their 30 under 35 list in January 2023. The article mentioned my age, Chicago base and company revenue, $2.1 million in 2022. I posted it to my professional Instagram. That post got 2,400 likes, 340 comments. 3 days later, an email arrived from my father. Subject: Business opportunity. Urgent. Harper, saw your Forbes article. Congratulations. Reed Luxury Motors is facing some temporary market challenges. We need PR consultation. Budget of $180,000 for 6 months. Would be good to reconnect. Dad, no apology for July 4th. No acknowledgement of 4 years of silence. Just a business opportunity now that I was useful. I didn't respond. I called our forensic accountant. Pull everything on Reed Luxury Motors. Owner Robert Reed, she called back 2 days later. Harper, this dealership is in serious trouble. Revenue down 43% over 3 years. Robert had $340,000 in outstanding debt. He'd missed payments. 6 months until bankruptcy. At her dig deeper. Colton was sales manager, income tied to a sinking ship. He and Madison had $47,000 in credit card debt. Madison's followers dropped from 180,000 to 68,000. Posts averaged 340 likes. Last sponsored post, 8 months ago, $400. Now selling MLM supplements. My parents had remortgaged their house twice. They were $180,000 underwater. I compiled everything into a folder, then waited. 2 weeks later, Sloan emailed. Family is family. Dad really needs help. You have the expertise. Could you at least talk to him? We can put the past behind us. Delete. Then Mum left a voicemail. I'm so proud of you. The dealership is in trouble. The family needs you. Please call. Delete. Finally, Colton texted from an unknown number. Dad's about to lose everything. Madison and I are drowning in debt. I need my big sister back. I screenshot it. Then responded, let's meet. All of you. July 6th, 6 p.m. I'll send location. I spent 3 months planning. Rented the event space at Naperville Country Club, the same venue as Madison's parties. Cost $3,200. Hired the same photographer, $800. Rented a V equipment, $1,200. Had Tessa design a presentation that looked like a pitch deck, but was actually a timeline of humiliation. Hired my lawyer to attend as witness. Invitations went out via email. Read family business proposal, July 6, 2025. Attendance mandatory. Formal attire requested. Dad responded within an hour. We'll be there. Thank you, Harper. July 6, 2025. 6 years exactly after the ban. I arrived at 5 p.m. wearing a $3,400 Armani suit and $890 Louboutin heels. Hair and makeup professionally done. I looked like I'd walked out of a billion-dollar boardroom. My family arrived at 5:58. All formal attire. Dad in a suit that looked too big. Mum in a repurposed old dress. Colton in mismatched blazer and slacks. Madison trying hard in an I'm still relevant dress. They froze when they saw me. Thanks for coming. Please sit. We have a lot to cover. Dad stepped forward for a hug. I stepped back. Sit. This is a business meeting. I dimmed the lights. First slide. Reed and Woo Communications logo. $4.2 million annual revenue. 23 employees. 67 active clients. Dad beamed. Harper, this is wonderful. Next slide. Instagram photo from July 6, 2019. The party. Everyone lined up, smiling. Caption, blood doesn't make family love and loyalty do. Silence. Next slide. Screenshot of Colton's text. You're embarrassing, Harper. Madison doesn't want you around her sponsors. Mum went pale. Madison stared at her lap. I clicked through more slides. Stories from the party. Every post with family and blessed while I was excluded. Then I played audio. Madison's voice from that phone call filled the room. You don't fit the aesthetic. I can't have you showing up in your Goodwill specials. Mum, she's right, honey. You're different. Dad, don't make this dramatic. Sloan laughing. Colton, maybe next year. If things change, I'd recorded everything. Kept it 6 years. So, I said coldly, let's talk about what changed. Next slides. My timeline. Sold car. 3 jobs. Saved $11,000 eating ramen. Started Reed and Woo with $400. Revenue progression year by year to $4.2 million. Forbes feature. 67 clients. 23 employees. 0 family support. Then, financial records of Reed Luxury Motors. Revenue declined 43%. Debt, $340,000. 6 months from bankruptcy. Dad went gray. Next, Colton and Madison. Credit card debt, $47,000. Madison's followers down to 68,000. Engagement, 0.5%. Last paid sponsorship, $400. Current income, MLM sales. I looked at Madison. You called me embarrassing. Today your engagement rate is 0.5%. Industry standard is 3 to 5%. You're invisible. She started crying. Next, Dad's email. I read it aloud mockingly. Temporary challenges. Budget of $180,000. Good to reconnect. Then, a contract. Read and woo standard retainer. $250,000 minimum. Client must have positive cash flow, growth potential, pass ethical review, no history of fraud or abuse. I looked at Dad. You fail on all counts, Mum cried. Sloane stared at the floor. Next. Recent messages. Sloane's family is family. Mum's we need you. Colton's I need my big sister back. I smiled without warmth. Funny how family matters when you need something. 6 years, no calls. But drowning, suddenly I'm family. Suddenly my embarrassing career became valuable. Colton stood. I was wrong. Madison was wrong. We were stupid and cruel. I'm sorry. I'm so fucking sorry. Madison sobbed. It was horrible. I was insecure. Please, Harper. We're losing everything. Next slide, cease and desist order. Harper Reed requests no further contact from Robert Reed, Diane Reed, Colton Reed, Madison Piers Reed, Sloane Reed. My lawyer stood. I'm here to serve these officially. Mum gasped. You can't. We're your parents. Next slide. Donation receipt. The Harper Reed Foundation for Young Professionals from Toxic Families. Initial funding, $50,000. Purpose, scholarships, and emergency housing for individuals rebuilding after family estrangement. Donated in honor of the Reed family, who taught the importance of cutting abusive ties. Sloane found her voice. This is cruel. This is vindictive. I laughed. Vindictive. Next slide. Side-by-side photos. Me in 2019, thrift store clothes, tired. In 2025, Armani suit, Forbes cover. Text. Embarrassing gives empire. I walked down, stood in front of them. You called me embarrassing because I didn't fit your aesthetic. I wore second-hand clothes while building a real career. To Madison. Your brand was fake. Bought followers, undisclosed ads, MLM schemes. I built real value. My clients see 240% revenue increases. My employees have health insurance and parental leave. I built an empire while you built an Instagram facade. To Colton, you called me embarrassing while living off Dad's co-signed mortgage. I turned $11,000 into millions. Who's embarrassing now? To Sloane. You laughed at me while climbing corporate ladders without making partner. I own my company. I answered to no one. To my parents. You valued appearances over character. You watched them exclude me and agree. You taught me family isn't blood. It's choice. I choose to never see you again. Dad stood, voice breaking. Harper, I'm your father. I loved you. No. You loved me when I was useful. You loved Sloane's salary and Madison's followers. You tolerated me, then discarded me. That's not love. Final slide. Black screen. White text. Harper Reed does not need the Reed family. The Reed family needed Harper Reed. Request denied. Lights up. My lawyer handed out cease and desist papers. You have 10 minutes to vacate. The photographer documented everything. Contact me. I'll pursue harassment charges. Use my name for your businesses. I'll sue for defamation. Clear? Silence. Madison sobbed. Mum and Dad cried. Colton stared. Sloane looked angry. Why? Sloane asked. Why this far? I picked up my bag, because sorry doesn't fix 6 years. Sorry doesn't rebuild who you'd destroyed. Sorry doesn't erase the voices telling me I was worthless while I worked 3 jobs. You don't get to throw me away and come back when you need something. This isn't revenge. It's justice. It's closure. I walked out. 3 months later, Reed Luxury Motors filed bankruptcy. Assets seized, sold at auction. Dad took a service advisor job at a Toyota dealership. $38,000 annually. Mum got part-time receptionist work at a vet clinic, $16 hourly. They moved to a 2-bedroom apartment in Aurora, $1,400 monthly rent. Colton and Madison divorced. Townhouse foreclosed. Madison moved back with her parents, doing lash extensions for $12 hourly. Instagram down to 12,000 followers. Colton sold used cars on commission, making $31,000 yearly, living in a $950 studio. The Reed name in Naperville became synonymous with failure. Meanwhile, Reed and Wu opened a New York office in 2026. Revenue hit $7.3 million. We hired 12 more employees. Entrepreneur magazine profiled me, the CEO who built an empire from rejection. I met David Chun at a VC conference. He asked me to dinner. I said no. He asked again. No again. He persisted gently for months. Eventually I said yes. We dated 8 months. He proposed simply at home. Marry me. Build a life. Partners and everything. We married October 2027 in Napa. 40 guests, friends, employees, David's family. No one from the Reed family knew. David's parents, Taiwanese immigrants who built a restaurant business, welcomed me completely. The wedding was intimate, perfect. No social media, no hashtags, just presents. I got pregnant January 2028, announced quietly on Instagram. New project. Due August 2028, 14,000 likes. No family saw it, all blocked. April 2028, a letter arrived. My mother's handwriting. 6 pages of apologies, regrets, therapy updates. Dad's depression. Colton's alcoholism. It ended. I'm begging for a chance to know my grandchild. Just to meet the baby once. I love you. I'm sorry, I read it 3 times, cried once. Then responded on letterhead via my lawyer. 1 paragraph. Your letter was received. I appreciate the apology, but it doesn't change my position. I've built a life separate from the Reeds. That boundary remains firm. My child will not know you. This is final. H. Reed, my daughter Grace, was born August 14th, 2028. 7 pounds, 3 ounces. Perfect. David's parents stayed 2 weeks helping us. Friends visited. Employees sent flowers and a onesie. Future CEO. Our life was full without a single Reed in it. Grace will know David's family as grandparents. She'll know Tessa as Auntie Tessa. She'll hear how her mom built a business from nothing. She'll learn about boundaries and self-worth. She'll never know about the family who called me embarrassing. December 2028, a Google alert. An obituary. My father died of a heart attack at 64. Services in Aurora. Survived by wife Diane, children Colton and Sloan. No mention of me. I felt nothing. No grief. No regret. Just acknowledgement. David found me reading it. You okay? I'm fine. He was a stranger. I didn't attend the funeral. Spent that day with Grace, playing on the floor, stacking blocks. She laughed. I rebuilt them. Simple, pure, joyful. That's family. Reed and Wu's holiday party happened 2 days later. 40 employees plus families. Tessa and I thanked everyone for another record year. Revenue 2028. $9.1 million. Plans for LA office, podcast production, possible acquisition. I looked around at people who'd built this with me. All chosen, all valued, all family in the way that mattered. That's what I built from being called embarrassing. An empire of people who see worth beyond appearances. The Reeds wanted me to fit their aesthetic. I built my own instead. Thanks for staying through this story. What would you have done in my situation? Have you ever had to cut out family who didn't value you until they needed something? Drop your thoughts below. If this resonated, hit like and subscribe for more stories about boundaries and building the life you deserve. See you in the next one.